Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a topic that resonates deeply with many of us love and the complex reactions that can arise when it begins to fade in a relationship. Specifically, I want to focus on the ways in which a man may react when he feels that love is no longer present or has diminished in a romantic partnership. Love is a powerful force that shapes our lives, and when it starts to fade, it can lead to a range of emotions and behaviors that can impact both partners. When you stop loving a man, one of the most common reactions he might display is emotional withdrawal. This response stems from a mix of confusion, hurt, and an instinctive need to protect himself from further emotional pain. Emotional withdrawal doesn't always happen immediately. It can be a gradual process as he starts to notice the changes in your behavior, affection, or commitment to the relationship. Over time, this withdrawal becomes a mechanism for coping with the perceived loss of love and intimacy. When a man senses that the love in the relationship is fading, he may initially try to deny or suppress his feelings. He might convince himself that it's just a phase or that things will go back to how they were. However, as the reality sinks in, his natural response may be to retreat emotionally. This can manifest in different ways depending on his personality and how deeply he is affected. For some, withdrawal is subtle and barely noticeable at first. They might stop sharing their thoughts and feelings as openly as they used to. Conversations that were once filled with warmth and enthusiasm may become shorter, more factual, or even strained. He might start avoiding topics that could lead to deeper emotional discussions, fearing rejection or further confirmation that the love is no longer mutual. In more pronounced cases, emotional withdrawal can lead to a significant reduction in communication altogether. He might begin to avoid spending time together or find excuses to stay busy with work, hobbies, or other activities. The physical distance created by these actions is often an attempt to create emotional distance as well. He might believe that by pulling away, he can protect himself from the vulnerability and pain of loving someone who no longer feels the same way. This withdrawal is not always deliberate. Often it is an unconscious reaction to the emotional upheaval he is experiencing. Men are frequently socialized to suppress their emotions or deal with them privately, so instead of expressing their hurt or confusion, they might shut down emotionally. This can make them appear cold or indifferent when, in reality, they are struggling to process the situation. In some cases, a man might withdraw because he feels unsure of how to navigate the changing dynamics of the relationship. The fading love may leave him questioning his worth or whether he did something wrong. These internal doubts can lead to self-blame and further withdrawal as he tries to sort through his feelings. He might replay moments from the relationship in his mind, searching for signs he missed or ways he could have prevented the love from fading. This introspection, while natural, can sometimes spiral into feelings of inadequacy or even resentment. Another aspect of emotional withdrawal is the protective instinct. When a man senses that he is losing someone he loves, he might instinctively retreat to protect himself from deeper hurt. By distancing himself, he creates a buffer between his emotions and the reality of the situation. This buffer allows him to maintain a semblance of control over his feelings, even as he processes the loss. However, this can also make it harder for the couple to have open and honest conversations about what is happening, potentially leading to misunderstandings or further strain. Despite the emotional withdrawal, it's important to note that this reaction is not always indicative of a lack of care or love. On the contrary, it can be a sign of how deeply he feels about the relationship. The pain of losing love can be overwhelming, and withdrawal might be his way of coping with emotions he finds difficult to articulate. For some men, this retreat is a temporary phase as they come to terms with the situation. For others, it might mark the beginning of a longer journey toward healing and acceptance. Emotional withdrawal can also affect other aspects of his life. He might seem less engaged at work or with friends and family. The emotional energy required to process the loss can leave him feeling drained or distracted. Over time, this withdrawal can create a sense of isolation, both for him and for the person he is withdrawing from. If the relationship ends completely, this isolation might persist until he finds a way to reconnect with himself and others. Understanding emotional withdrawal as a reaction to a loss of love can help both partners navigate this challenging time with greater empathy. While it can be frustrating or even painful to see someone you once loved retreat into themselves, recognizing that this behavior often stems from hurt and confusion can provide a sense of clarity. If there is still a desire to salvage the relationship, addressing the withdrawal with compassion and open communication is key. However, if the relationship is truly over, giving him the space he needs to process his feelings is equally important. Emotional withdrawal is a complex and deeply personal response to the loss of love. It reflects the vulnerability and fragility of human emotions, as well as the deep impact that love and connection have on our lives. For the man experiencing this withdrawal, it is both a coping mechanism and a journey toward healing, one that requires time, understanding, and patience. When a man realizes that the love in a relationship is fading, one common reaction is to make attempts to rekindle the connection. This response is often driven by a mix of hope, fear, and a strong desire to restore what he feels is slipping away. The nature of these attempts can vary widely, reflecting his personality, emotional maturity, and the depth of his feelings for the relationship. For many men, this phase is a critical moment where they channel their energy into trying to revive the love, often employing gestures, conversations, or changes in behavior that they believe will make a difference. One of the first ways a man might try to rekindle the relationship is by increasing his attentiveness and effort. If he notices that your affection or interest has waned, he may respond by doing things he thinks will remind you of the good times you shared. This could include planning special dates, revisiting places with sentimental value, or giving thoughtful gifts. These actions are often attempts to create moments of joy and connection, hoping to reignite the bond that once existed. He might also start paying closer attention to your needs, making an effort to be more considerate or supportive in ways he might not have prioritized before. Grand gestures are another common way men try to win back love. These can range from writing heartfelt letters to organizing surprise events that highlight his commitment and devotion. While these gestures may come from a genuine place, they can also stem from a fear of losing you. He might think that by doing something dramatic or memorable, he can remind you of the reasons you fell in love with him in the first place. However, grand gestures can sometimes backfire if they come across as desperate or if they fail to address the deeper issues in the relationship. In addition to actions, many men will attempt to rekindle love through communication. He might express his feelings more openly, sharing his fears and insecurities about the relationship. This could include asking questions to understand why your feelings have changed or seeking reassurance about where he stands. These conversations can be emotional and vulnerable as he tries to connect with you on a deeper level. Some men may even admit to mistakes they've made in the relationship, taking accountability and expressing a willingness to change. This kind of openness is often an effort to rebuild trust and show that he is invested in making things work. For some men, the attempts to rekindle love may involve making changes in their behavior or lifestyle. If he believes that certain habits or actions contributed to your loss of affection, he might take steps to address them. This could include breaking bad habits, becoming more involved in shared activities, or working on aspects of himself that he thinks will make him a better partner. These changes are often motivated by a desire to show that he is capable of growth and willing to do what it takes to make the relationship stronger. These efforts to rekindle the relationship are not always straightforward. They can sometimes be accompanied by an underlying sense of frustration or confusion, especially if his attempts don't seem to be making a difference. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or even resentment if he feels that his efforts are not being reciprocated or acknowledged. In some cases, his attempts might become overly persistent, which can create additional tension or push you further away. This is especially true if the underlying issues in the relationship are not being addressed or if the love has truly faded beyond repair. Despite the challenges, these attempts to rekindle love are often a testament to the depth of his feelings. They reflect his hope and determination to salvage the relationship, even in the face of uncertainty. At the same time, they can also reveal his fears and insecurities about losing someone he cares deeply about. For him, these efforts are not just about preserving the relationship, but also about preserving a part of himself that feels connected to you. It's important to recognize that these attempts to rekindle love are not always successful, nor do they always lead to the resolution of the issues at hand. If the love has genuinely faded, no amount of effort or change may be enough to restore the relationship to its former state. In such cases, his attempts may gradually give way to acceptance and a focus on moving forward. However, if there is still a spark or a mutual desire to work on the relationship, these efforts can serve as a foundation for rebuilding trust and connection. For the person on the receiving end of these attempts, it's essential to approach the situation with honesty and empathy. Acknowledge his efforts and communicate your feelings openly, even if the relationship cannot be salvaged. This can help provide closure and minimize misunderstandings or lingering resentment. If you do see potential for reconciliation, expressing your willingness to work together can create a path toward rebuilding the relationship in a way that feels authentic and sustainable. The attempts to rekindle love are a reflection of the complex emotions that arise when a relationship is at a crossroads. They highlight the hope, vulnerability, and resilience that define human connections, even in moments of uncertainty and change. Whether these efforts lead to reconciliation or serve as a stepping stone toward healing and growth, they are a testament to the enduring impact of love in our lives. When a man realizes that the love in a relationship is fading, one of his possible reactions is to become defensive or angry. This emotional response can stem from a mix of feelings, including rejection, confusion, and a fear of vulnerability. As the dynamics of the relationship shift, he may feel threatened and resort to defensive mechanisms as a way to protect himself from further emotional pain. Understanding this reaction can provide insight into the complexities of human emotions during challenging times. Initially, when a man perceives that his partner is pulling away, he might enter a state of denial. He may convince himself that everything is fine and that the issues affecting the relationship are minor or temporary. However, as the reality of the situation becomes increasingly evident, his defensiveness can escalate. He may lash out verbally, expressing anger or frustration in response to the perceived threat to the relationship. This anger can manifest as accusations or blame directed toward his partner, often reflecting his own feelings of hurt and insecurity rather than an objective view of the situation. This defensive behavior is not always intentional, rather, it is often a knee-jerk reaction to emotional turmoil. Men, like anyone else, experience a wide range of feelings, but societal norms often encourage them to suppress vulnerability and express anger instead. As a result, when faced with the potential loss of love, a man may default to anger as a means of coping with the fear of rejection. In this state, he might criticize his partner or highlight perceived flaws in the relationship, believing that this will deflect attention from his own feelings of inadequacy. This defensiveness can lead to communication breakdowns. When a man reacts with anger or hostility, it can create a toxic environment where constructive discussions become nearly impossible. The partner, feeling attacked or misunderstood, may withdraw further, exacerbating the emotional distance between them. This vicious cycle can lead to escalating tensions, where both partners feel increasingly unheard and isolated. The defensive behavior, rooted in fear and insecurity, becomes a barrier to understanding and connection, making it even more challenging to address the underlying issues. In some cases, a man might resort to extreme measures to assert control over the situation. This could involve manipulating conversations or using guilt as a tactic to regain a sense of power in the relationship. By framing the discussion around his feelings of abandonment or betrayal, he attempts to shift the narrative and draw attention back to himself. This approach may provide a temporary sense of validation, but it can further alienate his partner and erode the foundation of trust necessary for a healthy relationship. Defensiveness can be exacerbated by external factors. If a man is already dealing with stressors in his personal life, such as work pressures or family issues, the added strain of a crumbling relationship can amplify his reactions. In these moments, he may find it difficult to separate his emotions related to the relationship from those associated with other aspects of his life. This intertwining of feelings can lead to increased frustration and a greater likelihood of reacting defensively. The journey from defensiveness to acceptance can be challenging. For many men, it requires a willingness to confront their feelings head-on and acknowledge the underlying vulnerabilities that drive their reactions. This process may involve recognizing that anger is often a mask for deeper emotions, such as sadness, fear, or disappointment. By allowing themselves to experience these emotions, men can begin to dismantle the walls they've built around their hearts and open up to genuine communication. For the partner on the receiving end of this defensiveness, it can be essential to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. Recognizing that his reactions are rooted in fear can help facilitate a more compassionate dialogue. Instead of retaliating with anger or frustration, expressing feelings calmly and encouraging open communication can pave the way for healing. It is crucial to create a safe space where both partners feel comfortable sharing their emotions without fear of judgment or reprisal. In some cases, seeking external support can also be beneficial. Therapy or counseling can provide a neutral ground for couples to explore their feelings and improve communication. A trained professional can help both partners navigate the emotional turmoil and develop healthier coping strategies. By addressing the underlying issues in a structured environment, they can foster understanding and rebuild trust. Defensiveness and anger are natural reactions to the fear of losing love. They reflect the complexity of human emotions and the challenges that arise when relationships are tested. While these reactions can create barriers, they also present opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Through open communication, empathy, and a willingness to confront vulnerabilities, couples can navigate the difficult terrain of emotional turmoil and emerge stronger on the other side. Understanding that a man's defensiveness and anger often stem from fear of rejection can shift the perspective on these behaviors. Rather than viewing them solely as negative reactions, they can be seen as cries for help and a desire to protect oneself in the face of emotional pain. By approaching the situation with compassion and a commitment to open dialogue, couples can work toward resolving the underlying issues and rebuilding the love that once connected them. The journey may be challenging, but with patience and understanding, it is possible to move from defensiveness to a place of healing and reconnection. When a man feels that love has diminished in a relationship, one common reaction is to withdraw emotionally. This withdrawal can manifest as physical distance, lack of communication, or a general sense of detachment. Understanding this reaction is crucial, as it often signifies an internal struggle rather than a lack of care or commitment. For many men, emotional withdrawal is a coping mechanism, a way to protect themselves from the pain associated with losing a meaningful connection. The first aspect of emotional withdrawal is the tendency to retreat into one's own thoughts and feelings. When faced with the reality that a partner's affection is waning, a man may feel overwhelmed by a mixture of sadness, confusion, and anxiety. These emotions can be difficult to articulate, leading to a preference for silence over open dialogue. As a result, he might choose to distance himself from his partner rather than risk further hurt through confrontation or discussion. This retreat can be interpreted by the partner as indifference or lack of interest, but it often stems from a deeper emotional struggle. In some cases, emotional withdrawal can be a form of self-preservation. Men may fear that engaging in conversation about their feelings will lead to conflict or further pain, so they choose to disengage instead. This decision can create a cycle of isolation, where the man feels more alone in his emotions, which only exacerbates the distance in the relationship. As he withdraws, he may convince himself that it's easier to cope with his feelings on his own rather than share them with his partner. This can lead to a growing rift, where both partners feel increasingly disconnected and misunderstood. This withdrawal can also be influenced by societal norms that dictate how men should express their emotions. Many men are raised with the belief that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, leading them to hide their feelings instead of expressing them openly. This conditioning can cause a man to internalize his struggles, feeling as though seeking help or support is a failure. The pressure to maintain a facade of strength can further compound the emotional withdrawal, as he may feel he needs to appear unaffected by the changes in the relationship. As the emotional distance grows, a man may begin to lose interest in activities that he once enjoyed sharing with his partner. This shift can be particularly disheartening for both partners, as the shared experiences that once bonded them start to fade. The man might stop participating in conversations or plans, leading to feelings of neglect for his partner. This lack of engagement can be interpreted as apathy, but it is often rooted in his internal struggle to cope with the fear of losing love. The partner's response to this withdrawal can significantly impact the situation. If the partner reacts with frustration or anger, it can exacerbate the man's tendency to retreat further. This creates a feedback loop where the emotional distance increases, making it even harder for both partners to communicate openly. On the other hand, a compassionate response that encourages dialogue can help break down the barriers he has erected. By creating a safe space for conversation, the partner can gently encourage him to share his feelings and fears, which can facilitate healing. Another critical aspect of emotional withdrawal is the potential for misunderstandings. A man's silence may lead his partner to believe that he no longer cares or that he is indifferent to the relationship's struggles. This perception can create additional tension, as the partner may feel rejected or unloved. It's essential to recognize that his withdrawal is often not a reflection of his feelings for his partner, but rather an expression of his internal conflict. Clarifying these misunderstandings can pave the way for rebuilding trust and connection. To address emotional withdrawal effectively, both partners must be willing to engage in open and honest communication. The partner can initiate conversations by expressing concern for his well-being and inviting him to share his thoughts and feelings. It's important to approach these discussions with empathy, allowing him to articulate his emotions without fear of judgment. By validating his feelings and encouraging him to express himself, the partner can help him navigate the emotional turmoil and reduce the likelihood of further withdrawal. In some cases, seeking professional support can also be beneficial. Couples therapy or individual counseling can provide a safe environment for both partners to explore their feelings and work through the challenges they face. A trained therapist can help them identify patterns of behavior, improve communication, and develop healthier coping strategies. This external support can facilitate a deeper understanding of each other's emotions and foster a sense of connection. Emotional withdrawal is a complex reaction that often signifies a struggle with vulnerability and fear of loss. Understanding that this behavior is not an indication of lack of love, but rather a coping mechanism, can shift the perspective on the situation. Through compassionate communication, both partners can work toward reconnecting and addressing the underlying issues in the relationship. The journey may be challenging, but with patience, empathy, and a willingness to engage, it is possible to bridge the emotional gap and rebuild the love that once flourished. When a man withdraws emotionally in response to a perceived loss of love, it reflects a combination of internal struggles and societal pressures. Recognizing this behavior as a coping mechanism rather than indifference is essential for fostering understanding and connection. By encouraging open communication and providing a supportive environment, partners can navigate the complexities of emotional withdrawal and work together to restore the love and intimacy that brought them together. With commitment and effort, it is possible to heal the wounds caused by distance and rebuild a stronger, more resilient relationship. When a man feels that love has diminished in a relationship, one of the most common reactions is to engage in self-reflection or personal development. This reaction can manifest as a desire to reassess his own life goals and the role he plays in the relationship. Instead of outwardly expressing anger or withdrawing emotionally, he may turn inward, seeking to understand the reasons behind the perceived loss of love. This journey of self-exploration can lead to profound insights and ultimately personal growth, but it can also present challenges in navigating the relationship dynamics. At the outset, self-reflection can be a healthy response to the complexities of a relationship facing difficulties. A man may begin to contemplate what he truly wants from life and love, considering whether his actions and attitudes align with his values and desires. This period of introspection can be valuable, as it allows him to take stock of his feelings and motivations. He may ask himself critical questions such as, what do I need from this relationship and how have my actions affected my partner? This self-inquiry can help him gain clarity about his role in the relationship and whether he has contributed to the current state of disconnection. In some cases, a man may also recognize patterns in his behavior that have led to misunderstandings or emotional distance. For instance, he may realize that he has been neglecting his partner's emotional needs or failing to communicate effectively. This awareness can be a turning point, prompting him to take responsibility for his part in the relationship dynamic. By acknowledging his shortcomings, he can begin to formulate a plan for personal growth, setting goals for how he wants to improve both as an individual and as a partner. The journey of self-reflection is not without its difficulties. As a man delves deeper into his thoughts and feelings, he may encounter uncomfortable truths about himself and his relationship. This process can bring to light fears, insecurities, or unresolved issues that have been buried beneath the surface. For example, he might confront feelings of inadequacy or past traumas that have influenced his approach to love and commitment. This confrontation can be emotionally challenging, as it requires vulnerability and the willingness to face pain head-on. Self-reflection can lead to a sense of confusion or uncertainty about the relationship's future. A man may grapple with the question of whether to fight for the relationship or to let go. This internal struggle can create tension, as he may find it challenging to articulate his feelings to his partner while simultaneously processing his emotions. The fear of making the wrong decision can be paralyzing, leading to indecisiveness and further emotional distance. As he navigates this self-reflective journey, it's essential for him to maintain open lines of communication with his partner. Sharing his thoughts and feelings can foster a sense of connection even amid uncertainty. By expressing his desire to reflect and grow, he can invite his partner into the process, allowing them to explore their feelings together. This collaborative approach can strengthen the relationship, as both partners gain insights into each other's perspectives and emotional needs. Engaging in personal development during this time can be beneficial for both partners. A man may choose to pursue new hobbies, seek professional growth, or engage in activities that foster self-improvement. This newfound focus on personal growth can lead to a greater sense of fulfillment and confidence, which can positively impact the relationship. As he invests in himself, he may find that he is better equipped to engage with his partner and address the issues affecting their love. It's crucial for him to strike a balance between personal development and the needs of the relationship. While self-reflection is valuable, it should not become an excuse for neglecting the emotional connection with his partner. A man should aim to integrate his personal growth with the relationship's needs, recognizing that both aspects are interconnected. By prioritizing open communication and mutual support, he can ensure that his self-exploration enhances, rather than detracts from, the bond he shares with his partner. In some instances, a man may also seek external support during this period of reflection. Engaging in therapy or counseling can provide a safe space to explore his thoughts and emotions with a professional. A therapist can help him navigate the complexities of self-discovery, offering tools and strategies to process his feelings and make informed decisions about the relationship. This support can be invaluable in fostering personal growth and improving communication skills, ultimately benefiting both partners. The journey of self-reflection and personal development can lead to transformative changes in a man's life and relationship. By confronting his emotions and seeking to understand himself better, he can emerge with a clearer sense of purpose and direction. This newfound clarity can pave the way for healthier relationships, whether with his current partner or future ones. Moreover, it can foster a deeper appreciation for love and connection, as he learns to navigate the complexities of human emotions with greater awareness and empathy. When a man stops feeling loved in a relationship, his reaction may involve a significant period of self-reflection and personal development. This introspective journey allows him to gain insights into his feelings and behaviors, ultimately leading to personal growth. While the process can be challenging, fostering open communication and seeking external support can enhance the experience. By integrating personal development with the needs of the relationship, he can navigate the complexities of love and connection, ultimately emerging stronger and more equipped to foster healthy relationships. This journey of self-discovery can lead to greater fulfillment, not only within the relationship, but also in his overall life. When love begins to fade in a relationship, one significant reaction from a man may be a shift towards seeking validation and reassurance from external sources. This behavior can stem from feelings of insecurity, inadequacy, or fear of abandonment that arise when he senses that his partner's affection is waning. Rather than confronting these feelings directly within the relationship, he might look outside for affirmation and support, leading to various consequences for both himself and the relationship. It is essential to understand why a man might seek external validation during a period of emotional turmoil. When faced with the perceived loss of love, he may experience a decline in self-esteem and confidence. The fear that he is not enough for his partner can lead him to question his worth, prompting him to seek affirmation from friends, colleagues, or even new romantic interests. This pursuit of validation serves as a temporary escape from the pain of rejection and provides a brief sense of relief. However, it often complicates the dynamics of the relationship, as it can lead to feelings of betrayal and mistrust for the partner. The quest for validation can take many forms. For some men, it might manifest as an increased focus on social activities where they surround themselves with friends and acquaintances to bolster their sense of self-worth. Engaging in social interactions can provide a distraction from the emotional pain he is experiencing and may temporarily alleviate feelings of loneliness or inadequacy. He may find himself seeking compliments or engaging in conversations that highlight his strengths and accomplishments, craving the approval that he feels is lacking in his relationship. For others, seeking validation may lead to more problematic behaviors, such as flirting or developing emotional connections with new individuals. This behavior often stems from a desire to regain a sense of attractiveness or desirability, particularly if he feels overlooked or unappreciated by his partner. By diverting his attention to someone new, he may temporarily boost his confidence and self-esteem, but this approach can be detrimental in the long run. Engaging in flirtation or emotional connections outside the relationship can create a sense of betrayal and further distance him from his partner, leading to a downward spiral of mistrust and resentment. This pursuit of external validation can be fueled by societal expectations that emphasize the importance of success and desirability for men. Many men are conditioned to believe that their worth is measured by their achievements, status, or ability to attract partners. When faced with the fear of losing love, this societal pressure can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy, driving him to seek validation from external sources to reaffirm his identity. Unfortunately, this reliance on outside affirmation can lead to a cycle of dependency, where he continually seeks approval from others rather than addressing the core issues within his relationship. The impact of seeking validation on the relationship can be profound. As he turns to others for affirmation, he may unintentionally neglect his partner's emotional needs, exacerbating feelings of rejection and loneliness. The partner may perceive his behavior as a lack of commitment or interest in the relationship, which can lead to further emotional distance. The search for external validation can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts within the relationship. If a partner discovers that her significant other is seeking attention from others, it can trigger feelings of betrayal, anger, and sadness. The revelation can shatter trust and create an emotional rift that may be difficult to repair. In some cases, this may lead to the partner questioning her own worth and desirability, compounding the pain felt by both individuals. To navigate this challenging situation, open communication becomes essential. A man must confront his feelings of inadequacy and insecurity rather than masking them through external validation. By engaging in honest conversations with his partner about his struggles, he can create an opportunity for mutual understanding and support. Both partners should work together to establish a supportive and validating environment within the relationship. By actively expressing appreciation and affection, they can help each other feel valued and cherished. This nurturing dynamic can reduce the need for external validation, allowing both partners to focus on building a stronger emotional connection. In some cases, seeking professional support can also be beneficial for both partners. Couples therapy can provide a safe space to explore the underlying issues affecting the relationship and offer strategies for improving communication and emotional connection. A therapist can help both individuals recognize the impact of external validation on their relationship dynamics and guide them in developing healthier coping mechanisms. While seeking validation from external sources may provide temporary relief from feelings of inadequacy, it can have detrimental effects on both the individual and the relationship. Recognizing this behavior as a coping mechanism rather than a solution is crucial for fostering understanding and healing. By focusing on open communication, mutual support, and personal growth, both partners can work toward rebuilding the love and connection that initially brought them together. When a man stops feeling loved in a relationship, his reaction may involve seeking validation and reassurance from external sources. This behavior can stem from feelings of insecurity and inadequacy, leading to complications in the relationship dynamics. By recognizing the impact of this pursuit and fostering open communication, both partners can work together to rebuild trust and intimacy. Creating a supportive environment that prioritizes mutual validation can help both individuals feel cherished and valued, ultimately strengthening their bond and enhancing the love they share. With commitment and effort, it is possible to navigate the challenges of seeking validation and restore the emotional connection that once flourished in the relationship.